Hello everyone, back tuning in today's video. Doing JMA Friday. As always on a Friday, we have a look at the weather the next month. It's going to take us into July, so we'll be going into kind of the second month of the summer with this update. Just say later on today, we'll begin the updates for Glastonbury. So if you've been waiting, I know a lot of you are waiting for the Glastonbury video updates to begin. If you are waiting for those video updates, it all starts tonight around 7 o'clock, and you'll be able to find the link to the page for the Glastonbury updates on my Twitter feed and all of that kind of thing. But we're doing JMA Friday now, so we're going to have a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies for the next month, first of all, from the JMA, and then we'll move on, of course, to the CFS later on. So we start with the Northern Hemisphere view, the pole view down, if you like. So this is the North Pole up here, and these are the mid-latitudes round here. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. On these charts, red, the bright colours, yellows, oranges, always extrapolate to high pressure, and blues, the darker colours, always extrapolate to lower pressure. These are broken down to week periods, so the first week period takes us from today, the 9th, through to the 16th of June. So we find that we've got an area of above average heights over and to the south of the UK in the week ahead, with below average heights out in the Atlantic. The jet stream is doing something a little bit like that. So it's a settling down type situation. What happened the first week of June, which has been very unsettled, of course, it's more of a settling down situation. I think the north is still being impacted by the jet stream to some degree, so it isn't necessarily all that settled for the north, but the southern parts probably more in way of drier and warmer conditions there. I'm going to go through to week 2, and this looks quite good again. This is the 16th through to the 23rd of June, when, once again, we have an area of above average heights, albeit quite weak, but an area of above average heights is there over the UK. We've got below average heights in the Atlantic and quite a deep trough into Scandinavia and eastern parts of Europe as well, or northeastern Europe. Means that the jet stream is probably again doing something a bit like that. So a reasonable amount of dry weather there, I think, into the second half of June, and probably fairly warm conditions too. And then we go through to weeks 3 and 4. Remember, this is a 2-weekly anomaly, so it's a little bit harder to decide. This is going from the 23rd of June through to the 7th of July. Quite a difficult one to decide here. We've got below average heights again in the Atlantic, and the trough is still there over Scandinavia, northeastern parts of Europe. Otherwise, the heights are coming out near average. So what might be happening there is that, say, week 3 still has a fair amount of settled weather, and then week 4 may transition to something more changeable, or maybe week 3 is more changeable and week 4 transitions to something more settled. It's always difficult when the week 3-4 anomaly chart reverts sort of average heights. It's always difficult to decipher exactly what's going on in that 2-weekly period. Let's try and learn more by looking at the mid-latitude view, which deals with temperature and precipitation. So we come back to week 1. British Isles is just here in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. For week 1, the coming week, we've got the ridge down to our south, we've got low pressure out of the Atlantic, and the jet stream's being pushed northwards rather like that. So in terms of temperatures, well, it is looking warm in the weekend. Temperature anomalies are coming out quite significantly warmer than average, particularly so for the south, but all parts of the country above average with the temperatures. Precipitation also looking fairly dry as well. It's a little bit wetter than average for Scotland, but elsewhere the rainfall is coming out near normal. Week 2 precipitation shows that we've got the ridge over the UK again, so you'd expect this to be another fairly warm week. That's what the model is going for. So quite a run here of fairly warm conditions through the middle part of June. Precipitation, again, it is on the drier than average side. So quite a nice spell of weather coming up for the next couple of weeks if the JMA is getting this right. And then we go through to weeks 3 and 4, where the anomalies are much weaker in terms of 500 millibar heights. Let's see what the precipitation is doing. And it is still more or less on the drier than average side, actually. So still coming out fairly dry there from the 23rd of June through to the 7th of July. And the temperature anomaly, that is also coming out above average, but less so. So I suspect this is a bit of a transitional period. There's something going on through this week 3-4 period that is perhaps suggesting, I would have thought the third week is likely to be mostly dry and warm still, and then maybe something cooler and more changeable in the fourth week. Perhaps that's just my sort of guess at what's going on there. Generally, quite a decent update from the JMA model, though. Certainly for the next couple of weeks, next 2 or 3 weeks, looking pretty dry and warm, I would have thought. CFS V2 next. Again, these are 500 millibar heights broken down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 9th through to the 15th of June. We have the area of above average heights, again to our south, below average heights up to the north. So this is pretty good agreement between the two models. The jet stream doing something like that. It might be a little bit more unsettled for the week ahead compared to the JMA. It's a very similar type situation, but perhaps just a little bit more unsettled, especially for the north and west, than the JMA is. However, we go through to week 2, which is the 16th, 22nd of June, and then we've got a big ridge of above average heights building through the UK, so that looks like it's summer returning. The jet stream is going rather like that. We're placed on the warm side of the jet stream. We're under that ridge, so I would have thought that brings a lot of pretty dry and warm weather to many parts of the country through the middle part of June. Week 3, taking us from the 23rd through 29th of June, still has above average heights close to the UK, more centred to the east-north-east. Perhaps got this trough out to the west. This might be threatening some sort of thundery breakdown. So this could be very warm perhaps, but maybe thundery there as we're going into the second half of June. And then we go through to week 4, which is the 30th of June through to 6th of July. And look at that, the above average heights are back again. So that's bringing a lot of dry weather, very warm conditions too. The winds are coming in from the east by this point. So I think, but reading between the lines, these two models are going for quite a lot of dry and warm weather through the second half of June and perhaps lasting into early July. Temperature anomalies are looking like this. So the weekend, it is more unsettled in the week ahead. So the temperature anomaly is around average, really, maybe a little bit cooler than average to our west. But let's say close to average temperatures in the coming week. Week 2, temperature anomalies are looking warmer than average. That's as the area of high pressure builds through, and that continues into week 3 as well. That one was sort of hinting at perhaps turning a bit thundery there through to the latter stages of June, and then week 4 rounds it all off. A very warm end to June and start to July is indicated here from the 30th of June to the 6th of July, looking really warm with those temperatures. So summer could be about to step up 2 or 3 years. Precipitation looks like this for the week ahead. It is wetter than average in the north and west, but it's nearer normal further south. And then week 2, precipitation is turning drier than average as, again, the high pressure builds through. Week 3, the signal is starting to weaken as it usually does. So week 3, precipitation is around average. That was suggested to be a little bit thundery. And then week 4, again, losing the signal's weakening, but it's close to average with the precipitation from the 30th of June to the 6th of July. So it's a pretty decent update, I have to say, if you want some warm and dry summer conditions. Now, I've got some unsettled weather to get out of the way in the next few days, but once a high pressure makes its move from the Azores, running up towards the middle part of the month, these long-range models want to keep this as a sustained period of high pressure going into the second half of June and possibly even lasting into the first bit of July, although that is a little bit more uncertain. But I think the second half of June could be significantly better compared to the first half of June. Be interesting to see just how close these models are with this idea of a fairly protracted period of quite warm and dry conditions, summer returning from mid-June onwards. As ever, it's all highly speculative. Long-range forecasting is not to be relied upon. As we always say, these models are prone to chopping and changing, so it could all look very, very different next week. Never take any long-range forecast particularly seriously. Right, so that's JMA Friday for this week. Later on today, we'll have the first update for the Glastonbury Festival. Tomorrow, of course, got weekend forecast as always. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching.